They say the Vatican is the heart of the Christian world. Sacred, divine, untouchable. But what if I told you that beneath its holy marble floors lies another world? A hidden city of the dead older than the Vatican itself. A world buried in silence and sealed away by centuries of secrets. This is the story of what truly lies beneath St. Peter's Basilica and why the Vatican doesn't want you to see it. Beneath the massive dome of the Basilica, tourists walk over ancient stone. They marvel at Michelangelo's art, unaware that below them, layer upon layer of forgotten history sleeps. It's called the Scavi, or the Vatican Necropolis, an underground city of tombs, temples, and chambers that once held the earliest followers of Christ. But here's the part most people don't know. This place wasn't just a graveyard. It was once a pagan burial site, centuries before Christianity ever arrived in Rome. Around the year 64 AD, the Roman Emperor Nero unleashed his fury on Christians after the Great Fire of Rome. Thousands were tortured, crucified, or fed to lions, and many of their bodies were buried secretly in the soft ground beneath what is now the Vatican Hill. Among them, legend says, was Peter, one of Jesus' 12 apostles. According to early Christian writings, Peter was executed in Nero's circus and buried in a humble grave nearby. For nearly 300 years, that grave was forgotten until Emperor Constantine, the first Christian emperor, decided to build a grand church above it. In the 4th century AD, Constantine ordered the construction of the original St. Peter's Basilica. But to build it, his engineers faced a strange challenge. The area was filled with ancient tombs, statues, and temples from a much older world. Instead of clearing them completely, they buried them, sealing centuries of Roman history beneath layers of faith. What Constantine created wasn't just a church. It was a bridge between two worlds, one of ancient pagan Rome, and the other the rising empire of Christianity. And deep below, those ancient stones still whisper their story. Fast forward to 1940. World War II was raging across Europe, but inside the Vatican walls, another kind of mission was underway, one cloaked in total secrecy. Pope Pius XII quietly authorized an excavation beneath the basilica. The official reason? To locate the lost tomb of St. Peter. But what they found shocked even the Vatican itself. As archaeologists dug deeper, they entered narrow tunnels filled with ancient tombs, marble sarcophagi, Latin inscriptions, and mosaics that had not seen light in nearly 2,000 years. Some tombs dated back to pre-Christian times, decorated with strange symbols, suns, serpents, and stars, remnants of pagan cults that once worshipped there. One wall was covered with ancient graffiti, scratched by trembling hands. Among them were the words Petros Ianai, meaning Peter is here. Could this mark the real burial place of St. Peter himself? The discovery was explosive, but what happened next was even more mysterious. For years, the Vatican refused to release full details of the excavation. Only select photos and reports were made public, heavily edited and approved by the Church. Some claimed the findings confirmed Peter's burial beneath the basilica. Others whispered that what was found contradicted the Church's version entirely. Rumors spread that among the bones discovered, only fragments actually matched a man of Peter's time, and others belonged to women and animals. So, whose bones were really buried beneath the Vatican? To this day, the Vatican insists that St. Peter's remains rest under the high altar, but not everyone is convinced. In 1953, one of the lead archaeologists, Margherita Garducci, claimed she had found evidence proving Peter's bones had been hidden and later reburied, in secret by early Christians during Roman persecutions. She even said that some bones wrapped in purple and gold fabric were discovered in a niche marked with Peter's name. Yet, skeptics argue that no DNA or conclusive dating has ever been released. The Vatican, they say, protects the narrative and the mystery for reasons only it knows. But that's not all that lies beneath the basilica. Hidden tunnels lead to ancient pagan shrines, sealed chambers, and even restricted areas where the public is never allowed. Some claim these chambers contain artifacts from pre-Christian Rome, forbidden texts, and symbols that challenge the church's early history. Researchers who've entered the lower necropolis describe it as eerie and timeless. Dim lights flickering over faded frescoes, the air thick with the smell of ancient dust. Here, time stands still, and every wall seems to hold a secret. One legend even speaks of a deeper vault, below the known necropolis, said to contain the chronicles of the apostles, early scriptures never approved by the church. Whether such a vault exists, no one outside the Vatican knows. Access is tightly controlled. Only a handful of archaeologists and priests are allowed entry. Visitors today can see just a small portion. Guided carefully, never left alone, never allowed to photograph freely. So why such secrecy? Why keep ancient tombs, shrines, and evidence of Rome's forgotten religions locked away? Some believe the Vatican fears that revealing everything might rewrite the origins of Christianity itself. Others think it's about power, controlling not just faith but history. Because if what lies beneath the Vatican were ever fully revealed, it might change how the world sees the church, and even how the story of Christianity began. Today, beneath the shining marble and gold of St. Peter's, the Scavi remains silent, a dark mirror of the holy city above. Every step through its tunnels is a step through time, from the ashes of Nero's circus, to the secret grave of a fisherman turned apostle, to the grand basilica that rose from the bones of the forgotten. They say faith is built on what we cannot see, and beneath the Vatican, that truth has never been more literal, because under the most sacred ground on earth lies a world the church built its foundation upon and buried its deepest secrets within.